Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, let's dive into this because today we're embarking on a journey into the absolute greatest mystery of the universe. We're peering right into the deepest, darkest enigma out there, the black hole. Few things inspire more wonder, more terror, and more of that deep existential curiosity. So take a breath and let's begin our descent into the profound unknown. Invisible, silent, utterly beyond our comprehension. Out there in the cosmic dark, these entities just exist without making a sound, without emitting even a single trace of light. They literally devour entire star systems. They bend light itself and distort the very fabric of reality in ways that completely shatter our ordinary human understanding. We look up at the night sky, right, and we see this beautiful tapestry of light. But these silent, sleeping titans, they operate in the absolute shadows, quietly pulling the strings of the entire universe. To modern science, this is really a story of extreme, violent physical reality. When a massive titan of the sky finally exhausts its life force, it pushes past all known physical limits. Matter is completely crushed into an infinitely small point, literally defying the laws of physics as we know them. I mean, imagine the staggering force required to compress an entire sun into a space smaller than a single atom. It's wild. What's left behind is a gravity well so deep, so absolute, that the fabric of the universe itself is torn. It creates a rip in space-time that consumes absolutely everything it touches. And this brilliantly illustrates the two sides of our human experience here. On one hand, modern science defines these anomalies through sheer physical destruction and inescapable gravity. But humanity has always sought to understand the void. To mystics and seekers of hidden knowledge across millennia, these empty spaces represent something far deeper. Long before our telescopes could ever pierce the dark, ancient traditions spoke of the void, not as empty, dead space, but as a womb of potential. They saw it as raw, unbridled energy from which universes actually emerge, and cosmic gateways into which they eventually disappear. It's science and mysticism peering into the exact same dark. Which brings us to the very edge of the abyss, the event horizon, the ultimate point of no return. If you cross this threshold, light itself is dragged backward. Time literally loses all meaning. The atoms of your body would be stretched in a terrifying, yet oddly named, cosmic phenomenon known as spaghettification, pulled apart until nothing but fundamental particles remain. Here at the edge, human logic, the strict laws of mathematics, and our entire framework for understanding reality simply shatter. Now, what's really interesting about this is how time itself becomes warped near that boundary. Imagine, just for a second, that you were somehow hovering right at the edge of the event horizon, shielded from all that crushing gravity. For you, maybe a few minutes pass. But if you were gazing back out at the distant universe, you'd watch entire civilizations rise and fall. Continents would shift. Entire centuries, maybe even millennia, would just burn away in the blink of an eye. The void doesn't just distort space, it bends reality itself. Time isn't a constant at all. It's an illusion, completely subjugated by the power of the dark. So all of this forces us to ask a pretty massive question. What if black holes are not endings? We're so deeply conditioned to see them as cosmic graveyards, right? The final resting place for dead stars and crushed matter. The absolute end of the line. But what if instead of ultimate destruction, they're actually points of transition? Think about it. Ancient texts have long described a sort of hidden womb from which universes emerge and into which they disappear. Going by this profound ancient logic, the void isn't a dead end at all. Actually, it's the absolute highest concentration of potential. It's like the ultimate cosmic crucible, where the old is unmade so that the new might be born. Destruction and creation, inextricably bound together in the deep black. Let's move to and see how this builds into what modern theoretical physics is saying, because remarkably, it's starting to echo those ancient whispers. When physicists grapple with things like the information paradox, they realize the quantum data of what falls into a black hole might not actually be destroyed. Some speculate that beyond the horizon lie wormholes, these hidden microscopic arteries connecting vastly distant realms of the cosmos. Others suggest the quantum information of everything that falls in is never truly lost. Instead, it transforms into a holographic shell right at the boundary. It's a complete transcendent recycling of cosmic data, where absolutely nothing is wasted, only changed. And, if quantum information transforms, we inevitably arrive at the deepest mystery of all, consciousness. Mystical teachings have long described reality as a series of layered dimensions, usually only crossed in altered states of mind, like in deep dreams or visions. As a really profound philosophical thought experiment, consider this. What if these supermassive voids are the physical, cosmic manifestations of that exact principle? Massive, swirling doorways between realms of existence that our current biological senses simply can't perceive. Billions. That is the number of stars whose movements are silently dictated by supermassive titans, like Sagittarius A star, sitting right at the very heart of our own Milky Way galaxy. Our sun, our solar system, our entire galactic neighborhood, we all orbit around this invisible center. They are the unseen anchors of the cosmos, shrouded in absolute, impenetrable darkness, and yet undeniably pulling the strings of everything that lives in the light. So the crucial point is, this is exactly why we feel such a primal, instinctive response to these anomalies, a profound mixture of awe mixed with fear. When we look up at the night sky, we're basically forced to look in the mirror. They remind us that we live in a universe that isn't entirely meant for our understanding, a cosmos built on strange, magnificent mysteries that humble human logic. Yes, they consume stars for sure, but they also force humanity to confront the terrifying, beautiful limits of our own existence. Thank you for exploring the unknown with me in this explainer. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to carry with you. As you step outside tonight and peer past the stars into that silent, invisible dark, ask yourself, what if, deep within the blackness between galaxies, there exist doorways to realities entirely beyond our imagination?